What's going on, guys? We're going to be reacting to John Karony's Captain's Log video update.
Let's talk blockchain. Specifically, let's talk the Safemoon blockchain. I am so excited for this new invention within the Safemoon ecosystem. Now, we've been talking about the blockchain for quite a while. We started talking about it in 2021, saying it was going to be released. It was not. 2022, unfortunately, I will say it is not going to be released in 2022. We wanted to invent something, not fork another chain and then slap it together and call it a day, which we could have done, and that would have decreased our build time.
So yeah, John Karony told us in 2021 that the blockchain and the exchange were coming out by the end of 2021. And then 2022, John Karony had said that basically the exchange and the blockchain, there's no way that it wouldn't be out by the summer, and then there's no way that it wouldn't be out by the end of this year. And so now he's basically saying that the blockchain isn't coming out until the end of next year around this time.
We needed to work on Orbital Shield first. The Safemoon blockchain will be akin to a proof of authority blockchain.
They said they need to work on Orbital Shield first. And as far as I understand, I thought that Orbital Shield was something they thought of last second, that wasn't a part of the plan, and then they worked on it. So maybe saying, oh, we would have had a lot of stuff done, but we had to work on Orbital Shield. Maybe there's something you guys know in the comments that I don't, but it just seems like it's just a password login to all of your accounts through the wallet. And I don't know why you wouldn't be able to work on that as well as the exchange and the blockchain. You think those would be separate teams that are working on those.
But we have our own spin on it. We have our own inventions around it. One of the most key critical pieces we had to get under our belts was Orbital Shield and the encryption around and how Orbital Shield works.
Which, like I said, that's something I thought they thought of last second as an extra. Like, that's what they told us. Oh, this is something that we thought of that would be an extra cool thing to add on. But now it's sounding like, oh no, it's been part of the plan to add this. The key thing to everything is this last thing that we thought of last second.
Now, you see all the token partners on the Safemoon ecosystem. That's a lot of token partners. Those are a lot of quality people. And it's going to continue to grow. Currently, we are looking at Solidity being the language of the Safemoon blockchain. Now, there are other languages there, and I can get into the back and forth why another language is better than another, and you got Rust over here, Python, and Java. You got all these languages. We picked Solidity because it has the most support, it's continuously being built upon, and there's already a massive development community ready to go to come onto our blockchain. And they wouldn't be able to come to our blockchain or make the choice to come to our blockchain if we didn't choose Solidity. It also allows Safemoon to migrate all of our amazing ecosystem products onto the Safemoon blockchain as well.
It sounds like he was suggesting that Solidity allows for us to migrate everything over to the Safemoon blockchain, which to me sounds like he's saying that the other codes wouldn't have allowed for that. I mean, is he saying that Solidity is one of the only ones or that would allow for Safemoon to be able to migrate everything over to its own blockchain?
Now, what am I excited for with the Safemoon blockchain? I am very excited for the TPS that we will be able to hit. Now, I remember having a conversation with an individual who founded a very, very large video game. And I was talking to him, and we'll call him Gary. I was like, Gary, do you support blockchain? Do you think it's the future? What are your thoughts around putting gaming on blockchain, fully decentralized game? And he said, hell no. And I'm like, well, that's kind of an odd reaction because my former conversations with him is I know he's a blockchain enthusiast. He's like, I could never put my game on this blockchain. I'm like, or on blockchain. I'm like, well, why? Like, what's the problem there? He's like, all of the blockchains combined could not handle our, call it volume.
Okay, so something that stood out to me right there is when he said this blockchain, which to me kind of sounds like they were either talking specifically about a blockchain, and that blockchain maybe was Safemoon saying, hey, how would you feel about having this on the Safemoon blockchain? Or maybe they were just talking about a blockchain in particular, or maybe John Karony just misspoke and said this blockchain instead of a blockchain.
Volume. And I'm like, wow, all of the blockchains combined could not handle their volume. That's one video game. That's not including large corporate organizations. That's not including payment processors. That's not including, I don't know, all of us. And then I asked him, well, why? I mean, can't you just hope the network builds and grows? He's like, most of them are not built for scale to an extent. I'm paraphrasing there. But he said one of the major issues with blockchain is the ability to scale and scale to very, very large sizes. And so I'm like, well, okay, that eliminates a lot of what we were planning on doing. Let's go back to the drawing board. Not scrap everything we're working on, because we were working on Orbital Shield at the time, and Orbital Shield was, something that we wanted to build out. And we knew that it would be the basis of not the basis, but be the keystone in our blockchain. So then we looked at, okay, why don't we do a proof of stake model? No. Proof of work model? No, we can't do that either. So we landed on proof of authority because that's very, very scalable. So we went back to the drawing board a little bit. We started working through, like, how do we build this thing to be able to scale to meet this person and then on beyond? Are we building a blockchain for thousands? Are we building a blockchain for millions? Are we building a blockchain for billions? Well, let's go ahead and try to build a blockchain for billions. We are seeing some good stuff. And so that's becoming more of the keystone in our proof of authority blockchain, so the Safemoon blockchain. We're hoping to release it this side of the year. Now, I've given the timeline before. I'm sorry. This is innovation. This is invention. You have no idea what you're getting into most of the time.
It's completely understandable that a team would reach out to their dev team, say, hey, when can you guys have this done? Are you sure you can have it done by this time? Okay, I'll tell everybody that by this time, we've given you extra room to have this done, and then it ends up being that they can't do it, or the team leaves, or whatever it may be. I think getting dev work is very hard to do, especially since dev teams are probably competing against each other to get contracts from people and get the job, and then they end up not being able to do that job. I think there's a lot of that going on in the crypto space. I'm not sure if that's what Safemoon is dealing with, but I also think that there is, if you promise your community something, that there needs to be a level of transparency around that, other than just letting them sit in darkness for a very long time. And this is like a reoccurring pattern with John Karony and Safemoon, is updating us, promising us the moon, and then not delivering, like over and over and over again. And I'm not coming at this from a fodder perspective. This is just the facts of what has happened. From the start of 2021 to the end of 2021, that's all that happened. And from 2022 to the end of 2022, that's all that's happened. And we've been told promises that affect people's investments that are basically saying there's no way, I don't have the patience for that timeline, for the exchange not coming out by last summer. So it's kind of a big deal. There's also a level of responsibility on John's part. Really ensure that what he is doing, he's able to do. And if he's not able to do it, he needs to let investors know as quickly as possible and update them about the roadmap, because people invest based on promising them things that aren't coming out. And those are the people that have been buying the dips and losing money to people, the whales that have been selling the whole time.
Folks are asking, okay, well, the blockchain isn't out, the centralized exchange isn't out. I'm like, listen, centralized exchange is, call it an accessibility feature to the Safemoon ecosystem, the Safemoon galaxy. But while the centralized exchange is being built, we wanted to make the Safemoon, everything else within Safemoon, equally as accessible. So the wallet, we've worked very hard to make sure the experience is the right one and is the accessible or easy to use one.
So I think that's when they thought of the idea of Orbital Shield, which you guys can correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. I've heard multiple arguments for and against Orbital Shield, which basically is like a username password login, which from what I understand is much easier to hack than a 12-word seed phrase. And that username password login gains access to all of your wallets. So no longer do they have to get your seed phrase, but now they just have to get your username login, and then they can gain access not just to one wallet, but every wallet that you have connected on there. There already has been, for some reason, a lot of people who apparently have lost money through Orbital Shield. If you guys got an answer to that down in the comments, you can let me know as well.
Now, the aim is always to have grandma be able to get into blockchain. Now, some grandmas can get into blockchain, but I don't think all of them, so we're not there yet. Again, perfection is a journey, not a destination. Anyway, I'm very excited to where we're at with the blockchain. Just quick little thing for you. We've already, began the testing around Orbital Shield and a proof of authority architecture. That's being built right now or tested right now, and we do have our work cut out for us. There is no manual, step 1, do this, step 2, do that. We're very excited to explore what we can do with proof of authority architecture.
I think that all of the problems with Safemoon and basically the destruction of its own community, there's still a lot of people left that believe, surprisingly, could have all been saved through transparency and communication. When these problems happen, we are the investors. We want to know what's going on. And when you promise us the moon, if you're willing to promise us the moon and promise us deadlines, then you need to be equally willing to let us know when that's not going to happen, not last second at the end, after, right before the year ends, you're telling us, oh, hey, it's not coming out for another year. That's not right. If you're going to equally pump people up, then you need to equally let them know when it's not going to happen. And whenever this FUD comes out, whenever the CoffeeZilla stuff comes out, whenever the blockchain evidence that looks like John took millions from the liquidity pool, whenever that stuff comes out, when you don't address that, that's what causes all these problems for your own community. And it makes the fact that it hasn't been addressed just leaves most of us thinking, okay, you stole 19 million and you're not willing to even try to address that information with your own community. And so it feels like John Karony is just going to pretend like none of that stuff happened, not address it, and then try to move on like nothing's happened, as if they're still working on these great products, and kind of asking us to, hey, trust me. I know in the past we promised things and they didn't come out, but this time I mean it. And it's like, how many times can we do that before you lose your investors? And I think while there is probably, I don't know, there's a decent amount of people left, nothing compared to what it was. Most of Safemoon's investors and huge community behind it, especially the loudest voices, have been lost due to the accusations that haven't been addressed, due to the lack of communication on the undelivered products, and due to how the community has been treated, because this is our investments. And when you withhold information or you're dishonest about information, like Thomas leaving or Ryan leaving or products not coming out, that's basically prioritizing wanting investors to not sell over the investors that are losing money. And what that sets up the community for is the community buying the dip, because they still think all these things are coming out when they're not going to, while whales who hold the most power just continue to use the community that's buying the dip as exit liquidity. And basically what that means is that your biggest supporters are being screwed the hardest because they're not being dealt with honestly.
Now, it's still a proof of authority, kind of at its philosophical core, but we have our own flavor on top of it. So we're very excited to bring the Safemoon blockchain. We're very excited that we're working on the Safemoon blockchain, and we cannot wait for you to see it. I'm John Karony. I'm the CEO of Safemoon. Thank you for watching.
So I've already been through this with John before. 2021, John Karony said that he was announcing that the Safemoon exchange and blockchain was coming out by the end of 2021. And I was excited, and then I bought more Safemoon. I was like, this is crazy news. I gotta buy. So how many other investors buy whenever you say things that the exchange and the blockchain are coming out? My main point is that if we're going to tell our community, which we should be prioritizing the community over everything, the only reason that John Karony has anything is because a community of investors bought into this project, and potentially because he took it from the liquidity pool, which he's not willing to address those accusations or deny them. I don't see any denial. Like, just even a denial of, no, we did not make money off the liquidity pool would go a long way, right? And then it would be like, okay, well, let's try to figure out where John got these millions of dollars for Safemoon that he has that nobody can explain other than hypotheticals based on theories that have no evidence. But it's like, how many times can you make things sound amazing, promise the world, say you're working on it, and then not deliver? That's happened way too many times in a row for me to trust really anything that John is saying. I do think they are working on exchange. I even think that they're probably in maybe the very early beginning stages of a blockchain. And for me, what this video appears to be is an effort to save face. And I think that unfortunately it is doing it for many of the Safemoon investors. For them, it's like, oh, finally some communication, and they're happy about it. But I just don't really see any reason to be happy about this video in my perspective. People were saying this is what we all wanted and needed. Appreciate the update. Do more videos like this. Great to just have an update. Fantastic. Perfect. This is what we want. This is great news. Finally, some information from Safemoon CEO John Karony. A simple update, actually a breath of fresh air. Fantastic update. This is what we need. This is what we needed. This is great. Thanks to the point. Good job. Let's go Safemoon. Yes, it's a very good format, simple and to the point. About time. Continue with the easy, simple background. More of this, please, John. Thank you. Amazing. Thank you for the update, Captain. Wish this video came out a month ago. This is all that was needed to stabilize price action, but it's all good. I'm buying the dip aggressively. Worth the wait. This was an excellent update. Safemoon is the evolution. Finally, something from the captain. I believe in Safemoon. Keep doing well. Safemoon is the future. In my perspective, this creates a scary scenario for the fact that people are okay with basically how John has acted, with not addressing any of the accusations, not telling people that Operation Phoenix is dead, even though he hyped that up. He barely kind of let you know that this amazing thing happened where they opened their eyes in the Gambia, that they could take Operation Phoenix to the whole world. This amazing revelation, when in actuality what it was is that the deal with Operation Phoenix fell through because of what was going on between him and his mom and the company that he, bought shares in. So as far as like the future of Safemoon goes, it's kind of like if John Karony continues to do what he's done, he's going to make promises, he's not going to deliver on them, he's going to ignore all of the FUD, and then he's going to make more promises. And the people who keep buying on this, who keep encouraging each other to buy, and who keep attacking anybody who points out the flaws of Safemoon, are the ones getting screwed the hardest. Let me know what you guys think down below. Did you guys like his update? Are you guys done with Safemoon? Do you think there's a future for Safemoon, or do you think this is a load of crap? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments.